In a groundbreaking revelation, Pope Francis has now fully disclosed the third secret of Fatima, bringing new insights into the timeless message given by the Virgin Mary. The world is once again reminded of the profound spiritual vision witnessed by three young shepherd children, Lucia dos Santos and her cousins Francisco and Jacinta Marto, who saw the Blessed Virgin Mary on multiple occasions in 1917 near the small Portuguese village of Fatima. Over the course of 6 apparitions between May and October, these children were entrusted with 3 prophetic messages that would not only shape their lives, but also offer guidance to the Church and the world. The first 2 secrets, which were revealed in 1941, have already become part of history, one being a prophecy about the end of World War I and the coming of World War II, and the other providing a glimpse into the horrors of hell. But it was the third secret that remained hidden for many years, shrouded in mystery and speculation. While Pope John Paul II shared part of it with the world in 2000, it was Pope Francis who has now revealed the full contents of this final secret, unveiling a message that carries great significance for all of humanity. At the heart of the third secret lies a powerful and symbolic vision of destruction and divine intervention. In this dramatic scene, an angel with a blazing sword is poised to strike down the earth, a fiery image of judgment and wrath. Yet, in the midst of this turmoil, the Virgin Mary, clothed in light and radiating divine love, intervenes, extinguishing the flames of the sword and offering the world a glimpse of hope amidst the chaos. The imagery reflects the eternal battle between good and evil, and the role of the Virgin Mary as the protector of humanity, guiding us through the darkness with her unwavering intercession. But the vision doesn't end there. The children witnessed a chilling image, a group of clergy, lay people, priests, and bishops, ascending a steep mountain toward a large crucifix. In this haunting scene, the Pope is executed by soldiers, symbolizing the deep suffering and persecution that the Church would endure in the future. This powerful imagery underscores the trials and tribulations that the faithful would face, and the Church's ultimate victory, symbolized by the unwavering cross. The crucifixion represents not only the physical suffering, but the spiritual assault the Church would endure as it navigates the difficult path of faith in an increasingly hostile world. The third secret of Fatima, then, is not just a prophetic warning about the future. It is a call to spiritual awakening for all of humanity. It urges us to recognize the ever-present battle between good and evil, and the vital role of faith, prayer, and divine intervention in overcoming the challenges that lie ahead. The vision of the Virgin Mary extinguishing the angel's sword is a potent symbol of hope, a divine assurance that, despite the darkness, God's love and mercy will ultimately triumph. Pope Francis' decision to make this secret public comes at a time when the world faces an array of overwhelming challenges: natural disasters, violence, social division, and a growing sense of spiritual desolation. In this turbulent moment in history, the third secret serves as a powerful reminder that repentance, prayer, and a return to God are urgently needed. It is a clarion call for humanity to rediscover its spiritual roots and embrace a life of morality, faith, and religious devotion. The core message of the third secret is clear. Humanity has turned its back on God, and the consequences of this estrangement are dire. The vision emphasizes the destructive power of sin and calls for each of us to live lives that are grounded in faith and righteousness. The image of the Church struggling amidst persecution is a reminder of the spiritual challenges ahead, but it also serves as a hopeful sign that the Church will endure, despite the suffering it may face. At the center of this message is the urgent call to prayer. The Virgin Mary has long championed the power of the Rosary as a weapon against evil and a means of spiritual protection. Through the Rosary, we are invited to engage in a direct dialogue with the divine, to seek refuge in God's mercy, and to actively participate in the battle for our souls. The vision reveals that, in the face of darkness, prayer is not just a tool for personal solace. It is a lifeline, a way to protect ourselves and others from the forces that threaten our spiritual well-being. The importance of collective prayer is another key aspect of the third secret. Mary calls us to come together as a community, to join in prayer for the healing of the world, and to support each other in the trials that lie ahead. In this way, our prayers become a powerful force for good, a source of grace and protection that transcends the physical and spiritual challenges we face. In closing, Pope Francis' decision to fully reveal the third secret of Fatima calls us to reflect deeply on its message. It is a warning and a call to action, urging us to return to God and embrace the spiritual renewal that is so desperately needed in our world today. Through prayer, repentance, and unwavering faith, we can navigate the coming trials and emerge stronger, more united, and more faithful. Let us heed the call of the Virgin Mary and trust in the divine protection that she offers to all who seek it. Thank you for joining us in exploring this powerful revelation. As we continue to face unprecedented challenges in our world, may this message inspire you to live with greater faith, hope, and love. In today's world, many Christians find themselves navigating a culture that increasingly questions morality and often rejects Christianity altogether. Pope Francis' full disclosure of the third secret of Fatima reveals that this prophetic message is not just a relic of the past, it is a call for the world today. It's a message that speaks directly to the challenges we face in modern society, urging repentance and spiritual renewal in the face of a world in turmoil. This divine warning, far from instilling fear, is meant to spark hope. Hope that through repentance, prayer, and a return to God, humanity can still find redemption and healing. At the heart of the third secret is the image of the Virgin Mary extinguishing the angel's fiery sword. This powerful moment serves as a reminder that, no matter how dark or despairing the world may seem, anyone who sincerely seeks God's love can find it. The mercy of God, as revealed by Mary, is always accessible through sincere repentance. It's a reminder that we are never too far gone to turn back and receive divine forgiveness. This message is not just about the past, it's a message for now, calling all people to return to a deeper relationship with God. One of the most significant aspects of the third secret, as well as of all Marian apparitions, is the emphasis on the power of prayer. Our Lady of Fatima has repeatedly urged the faithful to pray the Rosary, a sacred tool of spiritual power that has been part of the Catholic tradition for centuries. The Rosary is not just a repetitive series of prayers, it is a means to grow closer to God and to seek the intercession of the Virgin Mary. It's a spiritual shield and a sword, cutting through the despair and confusion that often afflict our hearts. Pope Francis, like his predecessors, continually stresses the importance of the Rosary in today's spiritual battle. As the world faces increasing uncertainty, whether from natural disasters, wars, or social upheaval, the Rosary remains a constant source of solace, protection, and divine mercy. Each prayer of the Rosary, especially the Hail Mary, is an appeal for grace and mercy. It is a beacon of light, cutting through the shadows and helping us to navigate the storms of life. The third secret of Fatima, despite its harrowing imagery of destruction and suffering, is fundamentally a message of hope. The vision of the Pope being attacked and the suffering faithful climbing a mountain toward a crucifix is not just a depiction of physical persecution. It symbolizes how suffering, when united with God, can lead to salvation. In the Catholic tradition, martyrdom is not an end but a means to eternal glory. This part of the secret serves as a profound reminder that suffering is part of the Christian journey, but it can be transformed through faith and trust in God. Even in the most painful and devastating circumstances, Christians are called to endure with faith. The third secret teaches us that the suffering of the Church, whether physical, spiritual, or emotional, is not meaningless. Rather, it is a sign of the strength of faith, the endurance of hope, and the ultimate triumph of good over evil. In times of trial, it's crucial to remember that God's love and mercy remain constant, no matter how bleak the world may appear. The Virgin Mary, the mother of all Christians, continues to intercede on behalf of humanity, even in the most dire of situations. The full disclosure of the third secret by Pope Francis underscores the importance of holding on to one's faith, even in the face of persecution. It calls Christians to embrace the trials they face, not as burdens to be avoided, but as necessary components of the path to salvation. The depiction of martyrdom in the vision is a reminder that the strength of faith, even under persecution, is a powerful witness to the victory of good over evil. Finally, the third secret brings into sharp focus the urgent need for conversion. The vision's portrayal of a world in spiritual crisis, alienated from God, serves as a prophetic warning. It highlights the consequences of humanity's estrangement from divine truth and love. Yet, it also offers a pathway to redemption. Through repentance, prayer, and a return to God, humanity's destiny can still be transformed. The choice is ours. We must be willing to turn away from sin, embrace God's mercy, and live lives rooted in faith and righteousness. As Pope Francis has made clear, the third secret of Fatima is not just a historical message. It is a call to action for every Christian, and indeed for all of humanity. In a world so deeply in need of spiritual renewal, This message urges us to live in the light of God's love, to pray fervently, and to unite as a global community in faith and repentance. We are reminded that no matter how dark the world becomes, there is always hope through God's infinite mercy. Let us heed the call to spiritual awakening, placing our trust in God's love and responding to His invitation to return to Him before it's too late. The time for conversion and renewal is now. The journey ahead may be challenging, but with prayer, faith, and the intercession of the Virgin Mary, we can face whatever lies ahead with confidence, hope, and the assurance of divine protection. The urgent call to return to God, the timeless message of Fatima, and the Immaculate Heart of Mary in today's world. The pursuit of happiness and fulfillment often leads individuals away from God and toward materialism, power, and fleeting pleasures. This shift has created a spiritual void that increasingly consumes lives and societies. The message of the Virgin Mary at Fatima, however, speaks directly to this crisis. It's not just a call to individuals, it's a call to humanity as a whole, to turn away from sin and return to the path of righteousness, the straight and narrow. Now more than ever, her words about the dangers of sin and the urgency of repentance are as relevant as they were when they were first spoken. The spiritual darkness enveloping the world today is not a random occurrence. It is a direct result of humanity's disregard for God's commands. The consequences of turning away from divine guidance are now evident in the confusion, division, and suffering we see across the globe. However, within this somber message lies a beacon of hope. The Virgin Mary reminds us that no matter how far we may have strayed, God's grace is always available to those who seek it. It is never too late to turn back to Him. The message of Fatima is filled with hope because it reassures us that, through repentance and prayer, particularly through the power of the Rosary, we can find our way back to the light of Christ. The third secret of Fatima reveals a profound truth. Despite the devastation and sorrow seen in the vision, the ultimate victory belongs to Mary's Immaculate Heart. Her love, compassion, and intercession will triumph over the forces of darkness. This divine victory is not a distant event in the future. It can begin right now, in the hearts of believers who turn to God in faith, prayer, and repentance. Pope Francis has echoed the call of his predecessor, Pope John Paul II, in emphasizing the importance of consecration to the Immaculate Heart of Mary. Just as Pope John Paul II entrusted the Church and the world to Mary's care, Pope Francis calls all the faithful to do the same. The protection and guidance offered through this consecration are vital as we face the challenges of our time. In the midst of hardship, the Immaculate Heart of Mary offers strength, hope, and refuge to all who seek her help. Her heart remains a place of comfort for those in need, a symbol of God's unfailing mercy and love. Despite the suffering that afflicts the world, we are reassured that God's plan will prevail. The forces of evil, no matter how formidable, will not have the last word. The victory of Mary's Immaculate Heart is assured, and it can begin within the hearts of believers today. Each prayer, each act of repentance, each moment of faith brings us one step closer to this victory. Through prayer and conversion, we can contribute to the triumph of good over evil, helping to bring light into the darkness. The third secret of Fatima paints a stark picture of the spiritual struggles humanity faces, but it also brings with it an essential message. While sin and suffering are real, they are not the end of the story. Prayer, especially the Rosary, is the key to overcoming the challenges before us. The Rosary, a profound tool of spiritual warfare, is the antidote to the darkness that threatens to engulf the world. Each prayer serves as a plea for divine mercy, each mystery an invitation to reflect on the life, death, and resurrection of Christ, the ultimate victory over sin and death. Pope Francis' decision to reveal the third secret was a pivotal moment in church history, shedding light on both the severity of humanity's spiritual crisis and the pathway to salvation. The secret calls everyone to return to God with sincerity, to embrace repentance, and to seek His forgiveness. It is not just a warning, it is a call to action. Now is the time for spiritual renewal. Now is the time to turn back to God. As the world faces unprecedented challenges, the message of Fatima is more vital than ever. The decisions we make today will shape the world of tomorrow. The clash between good and evil is evident in our daily lives, but Fatima assures us that we are not alone in this struggle. With the power of prayer, especially the Rosary, and the loving intercession of the Virgin Mary, we can overcome the darkness that threatens to overpower us. The call to conversion is clear and urgent. The world needs to turn back to God, to embrace repentance and to open our hearts to the light of Christ. In doing so, we will not only ensure our own salvation, but also contribute to the victory of Mary's Immaculate Heart, the triumph of good over evil. The time for spiritual renewal is here, and each of us has a part to play in this divine plan. In conclusion, the message of Fatima is one of both warning and hope. It calls us to action, urging us to turn away from sin and return to God. Through prayer, repentance, and conversion, we can help bring about the triumph of Mary's Immaculate Heart and the victory of good over evil. The time to act is now. Let us heed the call of the Virgin Mary, pray with fervor, and strive to live lives rooted in faith, hope, and love. Together, through prayer and faith, we can overcome the challenges before us and bring light to a world in need of healing.